What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Hey, Bar. Let me pop my chat out so I can see it easier. You know, it's nice now. Twitch, like, quietly fixed this thing where when you popped out the chat, all your chats used to disappear. And now they're retained. Love it. Me, Tap, and Doug in the party watching all together. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, say hi to those guys. Or I guess since you're watching all together, they can hear me. This is race 1. Yes. And straight to it. We're at Catalunya. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do. Hey, Doug. Damn it! Bar just sent me the weights and stuff. Alright, let me screenshot that shit. Okay, but this track kind of busting though. Let's talk about it. And yes, replace last week's race 1 weights. Yes, please. Which means it should already show up in my stuff. Tap, thanks for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Yo, Bar, is anybody in the group a graphic designer? Because I'm just saying, put these people to work. You do all this work organizing this thing, and if one of them is a decent graphic designer, we could have all this stuff as like fancy graphics. They don't even have to be like super fancy, but like you know, something that can like kind of overlay on top of the race screen, so like we could see the whole, like instead of it looking like this, like I have it where I have the race in the little tiny screen, we have like the whole race all over the screen, and like this is like a little overlay that shows up. It'd be cute. Mwah. Put them to work. Yeah, I saw that you missed the race, which, you know, it sucks. All right, so what do we got? We got Boo starting at 93% weight, so he's the heaviest just because he's first in the set standings. Ooh, I forgot to get updated standings. I guess we're not going to show the standings tonight. Doug is at 92%. Doug just solidly always at 92%. Bar 91%, but Bar didn't race today or last night, so we're gonna not see that. Hair 90%, 750, 89%. I mean, sorry, Doug. I don't know what to tell you. All right, let's go back to our main scene because it looks like the race is coming up. It's finally loaded up. I love Catalunya. And you know what, damn it, Bar sent me a Catalunya map as well, and I didn't save that. Excuse me. Which I probably should, because I definitely need to brush up on the corner names at Catalunya. So you know what? We're gonna pause, and I'm gonna get that so we can all see Catalunya together in all its glory. Hold, please. So obviously I came into the stream very, very well prepared, as you can tell. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I don't know. Just stuff, I guess. I did a junkyard crawl with my friends today. I organized a junkyard crawl, which was fun. We hit a couple junkyards, did lunch. I didn't actually get to go to any junkyards, but my friends did, and they had a good time, and I was glad that I put it together. That was cute. I did meet them for lunch. and I'm pooped. And I'm like, dude, you didn't even like go to a junkyard. You did nothing. You did no work. You chilled. You chilled all day. You're fine. But I'm pooped, and I can only imagine had I actually crawled around like pulling parts off in this Georgia humidity while mosquitoes literally like sucked me dry. How would I feel? How would I feel? Not good. I can't find the map I just downloaded. What? Why aren't you in my downloads? Or where I saved you. Alright, let's just try that again. My bad, y'all. My bad. I lost the file. Could have sworn I saved it to my desktop. But we'll do that again. It definitely is going to my desktop. It's right here. So why can't you find it, Streamlabs? What? Don't be weird. Guys, my computer's being weird. Make it stop. Make it stop. Alright. I think we're good. Or we'll almost be good. Give me a second. We'll be good in a moment. Gotta resize this big girl. You guys are probably listening to my clicks like, oh my god, she's going so slow. I am going slow, but I'm done now. Alright? Don't judge me. I'm trying to make it cute for y'all. I'm trying to make it cute. So, like, let me do that. Check most recent one. You check the old one. What? That's not what you just sent me at 10:02? Oh, Doug is at 93. What? Give me a second. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I had it wrong. Here. My crop is all weird. Please, crop. Please. Like, fix yourself. Alright. Doug at 93. Yes. Super at 92. Bar 91, but not racing. Hair Razor 90%. 750 89%. Now we have it right. Man, I'm gonna have to cut off this whole first part of the stream tomorrow, Bar. I'm gonna have to do all of that. Like, I hate this right now. This is not good. All right, we got that. We've got a map of Catalunya that I can show. We're gonna put that up right now. I love this track so much. I actually had never raced it in any game before Gran Turismo Sport, so it's just fun. An interesting thing about it is that the finish line is so close to the last corner. Like, you have this really long front straight, but the finish line is closer to the start of it, way closer to the start than the end, which is reminiscent of, like, the Nürburgring GP is the same, right? You come out of that last corner, and boom, the finish line's right there. And then big straight to a right-hander. So I wonder if that's not the motivation there. Now I gotta read up on the design of Catalunya. But anyway, let's take a tour of the map real quick. So down this front straight into the first corner, Elf is turn 1. It's kind of a chicane because it immediately goes into what is called a penalty lap loop. But anyway, turns 1 and 2 are the Elf chicane. Hey, D-Bap. The turn 3 is a long right-hand sweeper. It takes a lot of patience, called Renault. Then you get a short straight into kind of weird, I guess it's decreasing radius. Now that I really look at it, Repsol corner, not decreasing, sorry, increasing. But it's Repsol's weird. When you see it, you'll know what I mean when I say Repsol is weird. From Repsol, slight downhill into the Seat hairpin. It's an interesting corner, not hard at all, but it is a downhill braking zone into a hairpin. This map, in fact, makes it look a little more open than I think it is. I think it's tighter than that. But it does open up into a quick downhill straight into Verth. Another interesting corner, very late apex through Verth, and you have a killer sausage curve there that can throw you off. After Verth is a kink that doesn't have a name. I thought this kink had a name, but I guess I was wrong about that. But anyway, you do have then this long right-hander called Campsa. It's uphill up into Campsa. Another kind of late apex. Then the second longest straight, rather, the back straight, is a downhill run down into La Caixa. La Caixa is another kind of, it's a hairpin, but like, it does open up, but it's tough. It's very tough. It's very hard braking zone into La Caixa. It's going to be fun to see that, how these cars handle it. After Caixa, that turn does not have a name, but then you have a long uphill right-handed sweeper called Banc Sabadell, the Sabadell Bank, if you will. It can be very tricky because it's wide, but it's uphill, so you will understeer through it. Because you just don't have much weight over the front tires of the car, and so people get caught out there getting on the throttle too soon and realizing they're understeering into the kitty litter on the right. But if you can take the bunk right, you get a really good run into Europe car, which actually this map does not show. It doesn't show the chicane. So the Gran Turismo Sport layout. You see that gray chicane there at Europe car? The GT Sport layout uses that chicane. So this layout is, I don't know if this is the motorcycle layout or the GP layout, like the Formula 1 layout. But one of them is the difference. But definitely here in Gran Turismo Sport, we run the layout that goes through that chicane. And after the chicane is tough as heck. And it's got these sausage curbs that you just have to know how to straddle. You also have to know what cars can straddle the sausage curbs and what can't. Some cars you have to stay away from them, stay on the outside of them. Then you got New Holland, another long sweeper. There's got a lot of long sweepers in this track, actually. That is fairly easy. If you take it correctly, it should be full throttle in these cars on Racing Sauce, I'm pretty sure. You know, I don't know. I probably should have driven the car to see that for sure. Don't quote me on that. It is like if you're in a GT3 though. But those of course have more downforce. All right. That is a quick run around Catalunya. Let's start the race. Yeah, most of the corners are there. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. We'll do a lap, an onboard lap with someone as well once the race settles down, and we'll get to see more of it. All right. Y'all ready? Ready to see yourselves race? 30 minutes for this first race here. Mandatory pit stop. You know what it is. And they're off. Let's see, good start for everyone, it looks like. Nobody stuck on the line or anything like that. Ooh, actually, I lied. Way back there, he Schlump got a very slow start. The rest of the team, or the rest of the field, is already getting through Elf here. All together, still just like little colorful beans. It's kind of cute, actually. Watching you guys. Who's that with a penalty already? 750 with a penalty already. Probably cut Elf. It's very easy to do, and if you cut Elf, you will pick up a penalty. Everyone gets through Renault. Okay. No real drama yet. Let's put the volume up on my headphones so I can get more of the vibe. So far, Ben MK holding it down in the front, followed by Tap, Jack Mia also right there. Nobody's really too far away. We're not seeing too much of a gap starting already. Doug Barrow in 4th place. Supra Happy. That's Type R. 750 in the, I think, DeWalt. And then he slumped way back here in this burgundy colored car. Who is Schlump? You missed the grid walk. You know what? I didn't do the grid walk this week. You're right. I'll do a grid walk. Here we are coming into the chicane. Bar, do you know the name of the chicane? Because I can't think of it right now. I'm pretty sure it has a name. Pretty sure. This is Superboy in Doug Barrow slipstream. Doug goes defensive and Supra goes even further inside. Doug is going to keep him right there. Supra has to brake super early to avoid messing up that corner there. I think Doug knew that he had better track position. Supra was way too far inside to make anything happen. Meanwhile, Ben is starting to put a little bit of a gap on the rest of this field. We'll see if that lasts. Ooh, Tap with the homage livery to Flying Lizard Motorsports. I think that's what I'm seeing here. Hold on, give me more camera angle. I like that. Yeah, that is a Flying Lizard livery. Nice. Happy to Superboy is looking a bit gapful. So we're starting to see some separation in pace from everyone here. Of course, you know, we have these different weights to worry about. Ben is not carrying any extra weight in that car. What's this? Jack Mia making a move on Tap. Tap holds on to second for the moment and should have the inside for Verth? Not Verth. Wrong corner name. The Bank. Sabadell. My bad, y'all. And is able to hang on to it by the time he gets to the chicane. He's got the position there. But Jack Mia is obviously showing his face here and will have a good slipstream behind Tap as long as he gets New Holland right here. And we're going to stay right there to see if he makes a move into turn 1. Tap looking to break the slipstream and go defensive. He gets back on the racing line, doesn't stay defending. I think he realizes that Jack Mia isn't quite close enough to really reliably make a move. In fact, Jack Mia, I think, loses a little bit to him into Elf there because of that. Nope, never mind. That was just a trick of the camera. Jack Mia is still right there, very close to Tap. We'll go on board. See what's going on with the two of these. Stays close to him in through Repsol. And there's that downhill braking into Seat that I talked about. Seat hairpin quick, downhill runs, short little uphill. I actually kind of forgot into Verth. Very late apex in Verth. As you can see, Jack Mia starts wide, goes in, apexes it deep, and actually gains on Tap because he did take the better line through there. A slight lift into Kamsa, get on the throttle only after you apex it, which is again another late apex, and Jack Mia really has a better line through both of those corners, but Tap stays defensive into Kaisa. Jack Mia with the over under to try to get inside of him there, and he should have the outside at least for the bank, and actually Tap gives up and gives him the position so he can actually go inside, and now Jack Mia is in second place. I'm glad we were on board to see that. That was dope. Nice job by Jack to make that pass. He set that up for a couple of corners. Doug is right there though in fourth place, maybe watching the battle Waiting to see if something happens to give him a chance. Nope. Jack made that pass pretty clean. Didn't make any mistakes there that would cause an issue. Hishlump still way in the back and looking even further in the back here. 19.9 seconds to 750. So I think, oh yeah, that pace just isn't there for Schlump. EA Sports. Rack chicane. Thank you. Yes, it is the rack chicane. Hey, EA Sports, are you Hishlump? I mean, it's alright. It's your first race. Probably didn't have much practice either. It happens. I have definitely been the one who's like 20 seconds back on lap 2. It's me. Tap isn't really letting this position go. He's staying close to Jack Mia. Maybe looking to get it back. Ooh, super hang on to it. Got a little bit into that slippery stuff there. What do we have here? We have 750 on Type R and Happy Pappy right there. Oh, 750 pokes his nose into Verth. Is he gonna make that happen? Yep, made that work. Has the position going into Kamsa, so that's a pass for position there by 750. Nice job to get that there. Type R has no choice but to tuck in for 7th. Let's check on Tap and Jack Mia. Jack Mia starting to get away from him a little bit here. What's his time to Ben? Gap to Ben is 2.4 seconds. So we'll take a look and see what his pace is now. We're in the 4th lap. The tires should be warmed up. In fact, we're starting to see some tire wear. But the cars should be getting quicker. So we might see some surprises in pace here as well. Let's see. Anybody short shifting? We fuel saving at all? Little short shift from Type R there. He's not in his slipstream or anything, just doing it to do it, I guess. You know, I gotta say, ooh, Jack Mia purple in the 1st sector by 0.2. So Jack Mia definitely got the pedal to the ground. And he's not any closer, actually, but still went faster in that 1st sector. A little bit slidey coming out of Seat, but doesn't lose much time. I don't think it was that dramatic a slide there. Super's been carrying a pendency for a while. What I was gonna say, my bad, is that I like the sound of one make race with a great engine. And obviously, I don't think there's ever been a Porsche Flat 6 that sounded bad. So, a one-make race with these 911s, just even watching this, sounds great. And it's probably not that close to what it sounds like in real life. Actually, I know for a fact that it's not, but it still sounds really good. I think if we focus on Doug, we get good shots of Jack Mia, we get good shots of Tap. Yep. Get an idea of how this little group is going. Thanks for the follow, Ishla. Doug went purple in that sector, by the way, even though he's carrying the most weight. So, you know, the speed, just the things. That said, I'm a little surprised that he hasn't even tried to make a move on Tap yet. I don't know if that's just because it's going to be difficult for him to do so with that weight, or if he's waiting, is he saving fuel? I don't see that he's short shifting. Don't tell us in the chat, Doug. I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, everyone just besides Jack Mia making that pass, these three drivers are keeping it really friendly. And I want to know why. Why are we playing nice? Ooh, all that dive. They hit the brakes and like the nose goes digging. Like it's just a shovel. Yeah, I don't know. Doug's not short shifting or anything, so I don't think fuel is an issue. And yet, Tap, are we making a move now? No, we're not making a move. Tap's not making a move. Let's get a quick reminder of what our weights are for the race. Yeah, I could have done that better. But anyway, does it 93%, Super 92, Bar 91, Hair Razor at 97.50 at 89%. Let's go back so y'all can actually hear the race. And I'm going to fix that. I'm going to fix that right now. Still looking very close between these three. And in the back, Type R and Happy Pappy were going together. And Schlump having an issue. I feel like I'm missing someone. It's happening. Doug. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's watch the start of this. So, down the back straight, heading into the Kaisa hairpin. There's Doug just outside of BBU Tap and just gets a really lucky run into the bank where he'll be on the inside for that, which should also give him leverage for the next corner as well. Going into the rack chicane here, and it does. He's able to brake pretty deeply and cover any sort of passing and gets inside of Jack Mia and gets that position too. What in the world? We gotta go back. Watch all of that back. What? I wasn't expecting that. I saw the move on Tap going down. I did not see. I think Jack Mia. Did Jack Mia have an issue? What happened here? Jack Mia into the chicane. Oh, he hits the sausage curb. It takes the rear out from under him. He ends up wide into New Holland, and that gives Doug the position. He picks up a penalty as well. Doug's gonna go all the way inside to try to break that slipstream. Tap tries to get in it. 3 wide. They're going 3 wide into Elf now. Who's going to break first? It looks like Tap breaks a little bit earlier than Doug. Doug knows he's got some runoff into the second part of Elf and uses it all, in fact, to keep that Porsche in front of the other 2 Porsches. Well done. Well defended by Doug. Very cool to see there. Jack Mia, who was leading this pack for quite a few laps, now finds himself in the back end of it. But none of these drivers is trying to give up right now. Several times they're going 2 and 3 wide into corners. Single foul for Sayat. Probably smart. But as you can see, Tap obviously wants back around, wants to get back in front of Doug. Jack Mia wants to get back in front of both of them. And Doug just wants to keep them back where they're at. Schlump, I don't want to talk about it. Tap with a much better run through Kampsa than Doug. Is probably going to drive around him, but not able to outbrake him into Kaixa. He's looking for the undercut. Doug defends it well, stays inside. Tap has to keep close, stay behind him, because there's Jack Mia just behind. but he might have found a weakness there. Probably test that out again next lap. Can he beat Doug into Kamsa, and can he use that to his advantage going down to the hairpin there? Tap into the pits. I guess we are at about the 15-minute mark. That makes sense to me. Supra is also in. Jack Mia is in. Come on, camera. Oh, Supra into the wall. Mistakes were made. Supra, Jack Mia, Tap, all in. Jack Mia's got the most fuel in his car, 53%, which I think is an indicator that fuel will be close by the end of the race, but you don't really need a whole lot of it. You shouldn't need to fill up, especially if you've got a slipstream. You should be able to be fine. Wow, Super hit that wall a while ago and is just now getting to a stall. It's a pretty long pit lane here at Catalunya. That said, everyone has to take the pit, so everyone will have that same break jumping into it. Now, Ben stayed out. He's still in first place by a lot. Doug also stayed out. Probably going to look to get some fast out laps here, or fast in lap rather, with no traffic to deal with, and see if maybe he can make this jump in the pits. I could see that working out probably rather nicely without traffic. We'll see how it works out for him. Where are they now? Coming into Kaisa, so just a couple more corners. We'll see if Doug and or Ben pit. Maybe Doug feels like he's got a little more life in those tires and can go even faster without traffic. He does have a couple of cars behind him that will come up probably when he gets out of the pits, if he pits now. But if he can put together a blazing in-lap, a glorious in-lap, he can come out ahead of them. He dives in. And who's coming up behind? 750. 750 owes a pit stop, though. Might dive in. What we're worried about is Tap and Jack Mia. Where are they? They are coming through the chicane, or coming up to the chicane right now. They just got through Kaisa. That was the bank. Here they are in the chicane. Doug still hasn't made it to his stall yet, while these two are about to pass by. But of course, they still have that very long front straight they got to drive through. While Doug is still in there. Here he is getting tired, shouldn't need fuel. He is still taking a splash, but he's gonna want to hurry. Here's Tap and Jack Mia. They're coming to the exit. They just passed right there. So Doug ends up behind them, and actually further behind them than he was. So maybe that in-lap wasn't as fast as he wanted it to be, unfortunately. So Doug, several seconds behind the drivers that he was actually leading a moment ago. 4.5 seconds, and he's not even up to speed yet. So not a good result there. Wow, Doug, way to go, way to go. Let me stop. Don't say anything in the chat, Doug. Don't say anything in the chat. I'm sure if anybody can get back up to them, it's you. We've got 12 minutes left in the race here, so plenty of time. Tap and Jack Mia are very close together, so they're probably going to do a little bit of battling. There's probably going to be a little back and forth between the two of these. We saw Jack Mia make that brilliant pass on Tap a few laps before the pit window opened up there, and I expect that we might see something similar again. Here he is setting up wide for Kaisa. Yep, looking for that move. Gets on the throttle a little bit too quick, or really maybe just in the brakes, loses the rear end, and isn't able to get his nose anywhere that makes sense, at least for Tap. So, but clearly, I think Jack Mia's got pace on Tap here. Ben, our leader, is in the pits now, so what does that do for him? So Ben's in. Type R just passed, but Type R owes a pit. But here comes Tap, Jack Mia, and Doug. Are they going to come out before Ben? Ben is out. These three are passing the start-finish line, so I think Ben's going to make it out before they do. Come on, let me see Ben. Yep, there's Ben into turn one. He gets slumped between him and Tap, but that gap is a lot smaller now. Tap is in third place, but really in second, because like I said, Type R is up front, but he owes a pit stop still. So second, third, and fourth are a lot closer to Ben than they were before. Battle will slow them. Doug with clear air. Yep. And in fact, Doug right up on Jack Mia. What happened there? Did I miss something? I looked at the chat for 2 seconds. I look at the chat. No, this happened before I looked at chat. How did Doug get up there? We're going way back. We're going way back. Jack Mia on Tap. I bet I know what happened. Yep. Ooh, that's rough. That's rough. Loses the tail end. Chasing Tap. So up through the bank. Breaks for the chicane. He loses it here. Loses the back end right there. Just keeps the car still on the track with that, obviously. Oh, man. And then just giving it too much on the gas. Just really eager to get back going. I understand that feeling, but it messed him up even more. That puts Doug right there on him. I missed this whole thing because I was looking to see when Ben was going to come out of the pits. By the way, Happy Pappy into the pits. I think I just saw... Nope, Type R is still out. But now we got a new thing going. Doug on Jack Mia. Ooh. Doug's car leaning through Elf. He is carrying a lot more weight than these drivers are. He's got the most weight in the field on his car. So he's got some fighting to do to get that car to behave. But Jack Mia has to be worried right here because obviously Doug has been pretty dominant this season. And last season too. But Jack Mia has not been doing too bad. Not too bad this race. But right now, he's got a Doug problem. Doug is holding on to him, not letting him go. Do we have anyone else that's in a similar situation? Type R needs to go get tires. Ben's good. Tap is good. Schlump's not really racing anyone. He's got lapped. Yeah, it's Jack Mia and Doug. And behind them, Super's alone. 750's alone. Pappy's alone. And like I said, Schlump's getting lapped. So it's Doug v. Jack Mia. Now, Doug makes a pass here. Why do y'all do this stuff when I go away? Why do you wait till I go away? Doug dives into Kaisa. Okay, Jack Mia had a penalty, but Doug didn't take advantage of that. Doug was already on the inside before Jack even was ghosted. So that's a clean pass. Doug dives into a hairpin on Jack Mia, gets there way before him, even though Jack's in the lighter car. You love to see it. Let's talk about it again. There's Doug, 93% weight. He Schlump takes a penalty. Doug looks to break Jack's slipstream here. Jack alongside Doug into turn one. He's going to brake early, look for the cutback. He's not going to get it. Doug parks it in the apex. Exactly what you should do when you see your opponent looking for a cutback. That's fine. You just literally park your car in the apex. They can't get around you because you're there. Sorry about it. Oh no, my Porsche is so wide. Jack looks to the inside. Ooh, inside of Repsol. Gets a nose in. And that's a tap on Doug, but he does back out of it. He realizes, nah, that's not cool. Backs out of it, leaves Doug in his position. Doug able to hang on to the car in the grass there. Well done. Jack Mia is just racing hard. Just racing hard. I get it. And sometimes that involves touching and nudging. And when you take it too far, it's up to you to recognize when you take it too far and just back off. And Jack Mia does exactly that. Now into Campsa. Will Jack get a run on Doug here? It feels like most people are getting a run on Doug here. But I don't think he had the room to do anything with it anyway. He came up and he was literally like on the Carrera badge on the back of Doug's car. So no room to really do anything, even if he did get a better run. Doug's car was just in the way. Jack Mia looking to take a tighter run into the bank. Doesn't really give him much of an advantage, but he's really doing a good job to hold on to Doug and just look for where he can possibly make a move. Just take the measure of his opponent here. I was gonna go away, but I feel like something's gonna happen in turn 1, so I'm not gonna go away. Jack takes slipstream, goes outside. Doug's gonna nudge up right alongside him there, and he take as wide a line as he can. Jack opts to just take the outside line. I don't know if he meant to do that though, only because right here, his left side tires are in dirty stuff. Like there's no, you just get your tires dirty and you can't turn, which is exactly what happened to Jack Mia there. He actually loses out. Those left-hand side tires are still dirty, and the car snaps on him, and he goes off. That sucked. That sucked. You should never get in that in that stuff right there. And into the rubber. Just a complete loss of grip on the left-hand side of the car, and you can see into Repsol, he kind of Scandinavian flicks his way into there, but there's a grip differential on both sides of the car. Both sides of the car have different levels of grip, and it catches him out. Good job to stay off the track while other cars are passing. He's going to make sure he takes a safe re-entry there behind 750. He's now out of the battle for third with Doug. So Doug free to chase Tap. And Ben is free to just be in first place all alone still. You know what? I made you guys watch all of that on the tiny screen. I'm so sorry. Do you want me to go back? Do you want me to go back? Tell me and I'll go back. Doug, a purple sector there. Who's got the fastest lap overall? Ben with the fastest lap. It's a 49.854 so far. Doug isn't too far back with a 150 flat for his best lap. Sorry about the wait still showing, y'all. I got caught up in the battle as it was happening. And I look over and I'm like, oh, you never switched back from the weights. But I hope that the small screen wasn't too small. Well, 5 minutes left in the race. Doesn't look like anyone's really battling. I mean, Type R has Happy right there behind him, but there's a bit of a gap to them. I wouldn't say they're battling just yet, though anything can happen, of course. Doug is free of his fight with Jack Mia. It's pretty far from Tap, though. That fight cost him, yeah. It's 3.5 seconds back from Tap now is where Doug is. Tap was able to run away during Doug and Jack Mia's battle. And that's a lot of time to make up in 4.5 minutes. So I don't know if he's going to be able to. Doug may have to settle for third here. Ben, meanwhile, picked up a penalty, but I think he's doing okay. At this point, all he's got to do is take the car home. I think Jack Mia is going to look to try and get 5th place points, if at all possible here. Happy maybe look for 7th place points. He looks to be a little bit closer to Type R than he was the last time we checked. We are coming through the rack chicane here, and if he can hold on tight to Type R rather, he'll have a good slipstream down that front straight, and it looks like he is doing a good job hanging on to him. So let's see if he's able to use that and make a move into turn 1. Hey, the fight for 7th place is important. Hops inside. He's going to brake in time. Brakes a bit late. Can he hang on to it? Doesn't matter. Type R realizes there's 2 lines through turn 1. There's 2 lines through Elf. And he takes the outside line. Keeps his momentum. And is able to hold on to his position. Well done by Type R there to get in there. You see Happy just fighting with the car to keep it online through Renault there. 750 is up on Super now. Jack Mia not on 750, so I wonder if Supra picks up a penalty in Verth. I think Jack Mia did too. Yeah, Jack Mia goes off straight. What just happened? Is that a controller issue? What? Just gonna look at his controller inputs here. Oh, nah, he's driving. He just stays in it. Just stays in it. I think a little bit of a snap and wait there too. Weird. But what started out as a pretty good race for Jack Mia has gone pretty sour. He's having trouble keeping it straight even as he gets back on the track. Meanwhile, 750 is looking to make something happen with Supra. We got 2 minutes left in the race, which means probably only 1 lap after this one. Yeah, definitely just 1 lap left after this one. So 750 looking to make something work. It's hard. I can see it's hard to keep those cars together through that sequence there, and he does end up losing a little bit of time on Supra through the chicane. He's not close enough to be able to make a move into turn 1 after that. He did lose the car a little bit through the chicane, and that gave Supra a bit of a gap on him. So now he's got to work in this lap to make something happen, because I'm pretty sure this is the final lap of the race. Ben, meanwhile, another penalty. What's going on, Ben? Come on, all you got to do is bring it home. Just bring it home, Ben. Tap is back there, looking good. Low on gas, but that's okay. I think this is the last lap anyway. I think he's going to be just fine. Doug, meanwhile, also a little bit of penalty, but he's in 3rd place, pretty far off. Supra and 750 are who we are watching. Oh, Happy Pappy made a pass on Type R, but we're not gonna go back to that. We're gonna watch this battle here. This battle for 4th. Just got through Verth, coming up through Campsa here, so just a few more corners left to try to make something happen. 750 is in super slipstream for this back straight here. Is he going to dive into Kaisa? No. Supra goes ahead and goes defensive. 750, though, looks for the faster line through there. Not able to make a move. Supra holding on to the racing line at the bank. Literally in 750's way here. So Supra doing a good job of defending here, and I think he's got it done. This is the last lap. They're about to cross the line right here. So Supra into 4th place. Ben has to go 1 more lap. I guess it wasn't time yet when he passed. Looks like he's got enough gas to do it, so he should be okay. BB took the checkered flag at 2nd, Doug in 3rd, Supra 4th, 750 in 5th. Happy Pappy has made the pass on Type R. They're coming through the chicane now, and he's probably going to come in 6th, followed by Type R and Jack Mia, who at one point I think had 2nd place. Was definitely leading the pack for a bit there. Comes in 8th, and he Schlump will, I think, is going to be able to cross the line. Uh-oh. A little bit crazy there. Holds on to it. Just a little bit of a dorifto. Sometimes you gotta drift it. Sometimes you gotta drift it. He Schlump. You gotta drive it super smooth, especially on these racing softs. You gotta drive it in such a way that you are trying to not transfer any body weight, which is easier said than done. But that is the key. to driving these street cars is like go as smoothly as possible. Avoid brake dive, avoid squat, avoid having the car lean too far over too fast. Like you gotta act like you don't want it to compress the suspension at all. It will, don't get me wrong, but you gotta drive it like you don't want it to. That's race 1. That is race 1. Ben took that win very early on. I don't think Ben was ever in second place. Yeah, he basically got a victory lap there. Nice. All right, race 2, shall we? We're gonna take a quick break in between race 2. I like to stretch. I like to give y'all a chance to stretch, because why not? I think maybe a 3-minute break sounds good. Yes. So let's do this. Let's bring up my countdown. We'll make it a 3-minute countdown. All right. See y'all in a minute. Hey y'all, welcome back. We're loaded up. Race 2's here. We're gonna do a grid walk for Doug. Right. Gotta make Princess happy, so I'm here. I can do that. Daddy Tati's in the house. Walk mode. We're gonna start from the front. Ugh, we need a turbo button. We need a run mode. All right, now this grid it's reverse grid based on your finishing order, of course, and the weights are set according to your finishing order in the last race. Bar's gonna get me those weights in a second, so don't worry, those are coming. But basically, Ben will be the heaviest at 93%. Who came in second? Tap will have 92%. Doug will have 91%. And after Doug was Supra, I believe. So he'll have 90% and then 750 at 89%. But I could be wrong. We're going to get the official numbers very soon. Anyway, grid walk. He slumped with a nice deep wine burgundy red paint job here. I like that. I really like that color on this. It's a good look. I like it. I'm guessing next week we'll have a livery, but for now, you look good. You look good. All right. Jack Mia, sorry, not Yak Mia, with the Vodafone livery, and Type R in the Caterpillar. Happy with the Kappa green 750 in the DeWalt Supra in the Winding Road Racing livery there. Doug Octane. Who was Tap? Yes, Tap in the Flying Lizard livery. The lizard looks a little weird. It looks a little weird, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a really good replica. I like it. And then finally we got Ben in this Accelerate Motorsports livery here. That's our grid for today's race. As you can see, Catalunya's front straight is incredibly long and has a huge number of grid spaces, huge number of stalls. So imagine a very full grid here. It's got to be pretty brilliant stuff. Maybe Gran Turismo 7 will give us 32-person lobbies. Can you just imagine? Can you just imagine? You made the livery today? Nice. Can't wait to see it. All right, let's start. We've got engines revving. Taking a look at Tap's interesting pre-green rev pattern there. Everyone is off, headed towards turn one. Jack Mia with the obvious super launch there takes off ahead of everyone. So far, though, everyone makes it through a little bit of movement through the mid-pack there. They're 3 wide, though. That makes sense. 750 has got Doug already looking up the inside for, Renault. And Jack Mia has an issue going into Renault and ends up with some trouble. Ooh, come on. Get my camera together. Has 750 and Superboy right there up on him, despite that mega launch he had. Unfortunately, just loses the car a little bit. He's able to hang on to it, though. He does still have first place, but doesn't have that gap that he had built up just from turn one. Now, Doug is already making a move for third place on 750. Makes it happen. So Doug all the way up into third after starting the race pretty far back. Doug and Supra both making their way up the order pretty quickly. 750 as well, not doing too bad. Not that he was in the back or anything like that. Ben from last place into fifth already over Type R. Pappy, he slump, and BB, or Tap is still stuck in the back. He finished the last race in second place and is now sitting in second to last, so hasn't increased his position at all. Schlump basically got ran through, but that's okay. Like we said, we know that the pace is not quite there for him. Supra is in first place, though, over Jack. What happened, Jack? Friend. What happened, friend? Into Kaisa. Here's Supra diving in. So does Doug. Both of them dive in on Jack, and Jack just gets caught on that little bit of, the little bit of curb that sticks up more there. Oh, man. That's just crap luck. Hold on. Maybe we can see it here. There's a little bit of sausage right there, and it catches him out. It's pretty slippery, and he loses a third position after already having lost 2 into the corner that he probably could have defended into the bank here had he not ended up getting thrown to the outside of Kaisa. So Jack Mia out of first and into 4th place, and now facing real pressure from Ben, who won the last race. We know Ben's got pace around here. His car is the heaviest of the field, and that's Jack Mia out of the battle. He couldn't keep it together in the chicane. He comes back on track unsafely, I might add, looking to get inside and block these other cars from getting the position, but I mean, there's nothing you can really do there. So this is from Ben's camera angle here. That's Jack. Gets a little bit of a tap and then just runs over the sausage curb from that, and that throws his car way off. You know, I think the group as a collective decided that they wanted racing softs for these cars, but man, we see a lot of snap movement out of these cars because of it, unfortunately. Kind of throws you off in places where you maybe would have slid a little bit normally, but would have been okay. You just kind of power slide out of it, but with really grippy tires, the tires just grip. The tires grip, but the suspension is soft, so you just transfer a lot of weight, and it snaps back the other way on you, and you know, it sends the car. And I think that's been happening to Jack a lot there. I don't know why I keep wanting to call him Yak Mia. Who said it? It's J as in Y. I don't know. Supra has a Doug problem. Doug has wow, I went too wide in that corner problem, and so does 750 Twinsies right there. But Doug is right back up on Supra after that mistake, though, and 750 not too far off from Ben himself. But Ben has made that pass. He's now up in the 3rd place. So Ben is looking to win this second sprint as well. Now, there's no pit stop in the sprint race. This is race 2. No pit, just 20 minutes to the end. And so, you know, you want to go flat out and you want to make those passes as quickly as you possibly can. Supra is really having to defend hard against Doug here, and I wonder if it's even worth it. Looks like Doug's already got a better position halfway through the chicane there, and yeah, makes that pass. That was actually kind of nice. We should watch that. We can watch that happen from here. Yes, actually, let me go back again. Sorry. So coming out of Kaisa into Sabadell, into the bank, Doug with a much nicer line through the bank, gets a quicker line, but ends up having to go outside of Supra simply because of where Supra ends up. But he decides, you know, I can stay outside of him here for the first part of the chicane. I'll have the inside for the second part. And he just cuts it straight through to make that pass work. It's kind of the only way to make a pass in that chicane. Well, I guess, no, you could technically be where Supra was, but it's kind of easier the way Doug did it. And that's it. Doug's in first place after 2 laps. Ben's up in 3rd. 750 in 4th. Hanging on to Ben for a while. Tap has made his way up into 6th place now, but he's still got a really long way to go. Maybe is having a little trouble getting used to the weight in that car. Jack Mia has got Happy Pappy behind him. And it's probably a bit wary of the car now. You really gotta drive these things like you're driving on eggshells. The egg on the pedal analogy is it's the best visualization for how you should drive a street car, especially on if you're on street tires, or if you're on, you know, tires that just aren't good for the car. You have to be smooth. You have to. The car will reward you. It doesn't feel like you're gonna go fast when you're very smooth, but I promise you that is the absolute fastest. Just really smooth inputs, both on throttle, off throttle. You know, don't just snap the throttle shut. Don't just slam on the brakes. Don't just, you know, put your foot to the ground. Drive that car like you've got eggs on the pedals and you don't want to crush them. Tried sending weights, not sure if it went through. All right, bar, it did go through. I got it. Thank you. If you are not driving the car smoothly, it will react very poorly to your inputs. Because again, it's a lot of weight. This is thousands of pounds that you're moving around. And if you're moving it around roughly, it's gonna bounce back roughly, right? You know, that's what your shocks do. That's what your springs do. They compress, but they also have a rebound. And when you compress them too much, too fast, they're probably gonna rebound hard on you as well. Because street cars are softly sprung. Look at that. You can see Doug on the brakes there. You see just how much the front end dives on him there, and you've got to control that, right? He doesn't have a whole lot of choice in this car, but what he can do is make sure that it doesn't brake too hard. Otherwise, the back end of that car is going to get really light on him really fast, and it's going to be hard to turn and hard to control it in the turn. So if you watch his braking inputs on the bottom of the screen there, he brakes very smoothly. You see, it's very progressive going into these corners. He's not just slamming on the brakes at the last minute. It doesn't go from like zero brakes to full brakes all of a sudden. It's progressive braking. Let's see if we can catch it again, especially coming into this hairpin here. This is a hard braking zone into Kaisa. Look at that. You paused about halfway through, gets all the way back on, gets all the way on the brakes there. Perfectly controls the car. Jesus, I'm trying to speak English and it's hard. It's hard. Excuse me. But it does take practice. Whether you're driving on a wheel or a controller, it is about fine muscle control to be able to move and manipulate the pedals or the triggers that slowly and that smoothly, depending on what you're driving with. And it takes some time. You're going to be sore. Like, your fingers are going to be sore. Your ankles are going to be sore while you are practicing driving as smoothly as possible, braking as smoothly as possible, getting off the brakes. Like, when you are trail braking, right? When trail braking, the concept of trail braking is you brake deep into the corner, and instead of just, slam or keeping the brakes all the way down, you progressively release them as you turn the car. Because you're trying to release some of that grip. Your tires can only do so much work. When you're braking, you ask your tires to give you 100% of their grip into braking, but as you start to turn, you have to release some of that grip and tell it, okay, I need you to turn now, so stop braking so much. But you don't just let go of the brakes all of a sudden, because again, that's going to transfer too much weight. You're going to go from diving forward to all of a sudden throwing all that weight backwards. So you progressively get off the brakes as you trail brake to, again, try to avoid transferring too much weight in that car too fast. Doug, do you trail brake? We're about to see. I'm guessing you trail brake. You drive quickly. Yes, you do trail brake. You saw it right there. He just kind of progressively got off the brake as he turned the wheel, started to turn the car. That, again, takes practice, learning how to coordinate how much to let go of the brake to how much you're turning the car, how quickly, how slowly. It's an art. Doug is running away. I don't know why you guys are letting him run away. I'm tired of y'all letting him win. I feel like you do it because you're being nice to him. Super is 3.2 seconds away. Y'all don't have to be nice to Doug. You really don't. I know that it's really sweet of you. It's really sweet of y'all. But you don't have to be. He did come into third place in this race. He's usually first or second or something like that. So he's carrying a little less weight in the car than he normally has to. You're welcome, Doug. Thank you for being a good driver. So he's taking full advantage of that 91% weight that he's carrying now. And you know what? If I can get through this without missing anything on track, I'm going to pull up the weights for you guys. I just got a screenshot and save and all that jazz. What's this? Tap and Jack Mia. Tap is up in the 5th place ahead of Jack Mia. So Tap has picked up a position. Jack Mia is looking to get it back though. So we're going to stay right here. We're going to stay right here while they do that. Okay, I think the battle's kind of slowed down now. Maybe not. Maybe not. Lots of tire squealing going on while these two chase each other around. I'll show you guys the weight differentials in a moment. I just want to see how this battle develops as they go through rack. Both of them looking pretty good. Jack Mia keeping the car together through there, doing a good job. Hits a personal best lap. That's Tap. That is a personal best sector, rather. Jack Mia looking up the inside into Elf. He is going to outbrake Tap. There's a little bit of a touch there. It's not that big a deal. And Jack Mia is through back into 5th place. So Tap's got to do that work again. Nice job there to make that pass. Nice clean drivers between the two. Nice clean driving between the two drivers. That was hard to say. There was a little bit of a touch, but, you know, no big deal. It was just Tap trying to get the cut back, but Jack Mia was there on the apex. Did a good job defending that pass there, and now has to defend into Sayat. Tap is looking for a way around him. I think this is a good time to show y'all the weights. So Ben, our winner from the last race, is carrying the most weight in that car. It's at 93%. I see he's actually sitting in 4th place now, where he had gotten up to 3rd, I believe. So 750 has made that pass back on him. But Ben's got the heaviest car. Tap has got the 2nd heaviest car. You can see it in his struggle here to get past 5th place. Doug has 91% weight in his car. Supra is at 90% weight, and 750 is at 89% weight. All three of those drivers are sitting towards the top. Everyone else is at 87% weight, and should have an advantage against any of these drivers. And that's what Jack Mia is showing here. Jack Mia is at 87% weight. Ooh, a little bit of trouble there. Hits that same sausage curve, but this time it does disturb the car, clearly, but it didn't throw him all the way out like it had before. But he should probably be careful around that sausage curve there. That weight differential is kind of saving Jack Mia's life a lot here. Let's see, Doug still fully running away from Supra and 750. Both of these guys have heavy cars, like I said. 750's car is slightly lighter than Supra's. Please, Schlump, thank you for not watching my racing and making me go through the torture again. It's alright, Schlump, you know, because, listen, I've had terrible races, and the last thing I want is someone streaming it live on the internet. Doug, why are you being mean to me? My lightest race since race 1. I don't know, Doug. It's not so much that I'm being mean to you, it's that I love the underdogs. I love the underdogs. And I feel like they're being nice to you. Why? Why? Ben is carrying a penalty. It's not that big a one, though, just 0.3, but I think there's a bit of a gap between him and 750. Okay, it's less than I thought. It's less than a second. My bad. It looked bigger than bigger in that shot, and I think it might have just got bigger. Hold on now. What just happened to Ben? Downhill, braking for Kaiksa. Loses the back end just a little bit there, and again slides into that first corner before the bank. So Ben having trouble with the rear, and you can see that left rear tire is pretty worn out. We've got a little over 5 minutes left in the race, so he's gonna have to hold on to it, but his left rear is looking pretty bad compared to the right rear It is a very clockwise track. You have a lot of right-handed sweepers, and a ton of them are uphill. So yeah, most of the weight of the car is on the left rear through those corners, and they're long corners. So it makes sense that that tire takes a lot of wear. But I think it's messing with Ben a bit here. Jack Mia still holding on to this position above Tap, but man, Jack is kind of shooting himself in the foot here. He's constantly letting the back end slide out of that car, and that's not fast. It eats him up here. He's out in the dirty stuff in Renault. You can't hold on to it out there. It's very slippery, and obviously you saw him just really lose it there. He was out there for too long. Basically, when you're out there, the only thing to do is get off the throttle and try to get back on track as quickly as possible, because what's going to happen, yeah, he's just feeding it too much throttle, too roughly, and then he gets out here and he's not able to get it together to get back on track, and the car, the weight just slides back and forth until finally he goes all the way around. That is a classic pendulum moment. And you know, a rough lesson to learn, but that's why we do what? We drive very gently and try not to transfer that weight too much, because it transfers back. The energy has to go somewhere, right? Energy is never wasted. It's never wasted. And when you have a car, a street car on street suspensions, very soft suspension, not much downforce, the energy is mostly in your springs. It's in your tires, but like, it's in your springs. And your springs are kind of soft. Your shocks, your dampers are kind of soft. They're nothing like race car dampers and shocks. They don't control the movement that well, and they bounce. And that's a lot of weight to be bouncing around. I'm doing coaching as well, trying to help, but I'm glad you missed me fall off in this one. Did you fall off the track, Doug? Tell me, what lap? We'll go back to it. We'll go back. I'm glad you're doing some coaching. I need coaching. Somebody coach me. Oh dang, that reminds me, I need to be practicing. I signed up for a season of GTSRL. It's been a while since I've raced with them, but they have just month-long seasons, and just like 3 races, I think. 3 race days. And so it's a short season. You get your results pretty quickly. It's not much of a commitment. It's wonderful. And I've raced with them before. It's very good, very well run. And I've raced with some great people. And it's on Tuesday nights, so it doesn't interfere with any of my streaming. Jack Mia is really having a hard time in Repsol now, in Renault rather. That's the second lap in a row that he's ended up out and spun in Renault. He's gonna hate that corner now. He's gonna hate it. Maybe he'll go back and practice it until he gets it right, and then he'll start to love it. It happens. But right now, he hates it. 2 minutes left in the race. You can see major differences in tire wear on these cars, and everyone's in the same car. There's no tuning, so the differences in tire wear that you're seeing are really a difference in driving styles, because again, everyone's got the same tires, everyone's got the same car. You should technically have the same tire wear, but it's going to depend on your driving style. It's going to depend how well you save them. And you can see you got some people with very similar tire wear. Their top 3 very similar tire wear situation for these, and then Ben's got that horrible left rear rather. Tap looking good, pretty even. Tap's up into 5th place, like I said, away from Jack, and is now starting to challenge Ben. We've got another lap left here, and he might get Ben simply because Ben is going to have a lot of trouble keeping the back end of that car together. You know what? Tire wear not only is an indicator of driving style, it could also be your brake balance as well. So a lot of times you can transfer your brake balance from front to back in this game, and you can do so to try to affect how the car handles. You know, if you have a car that oversteers in braking, you might want to transfer your brake bias to the front to try to get it to understeer, right? So make those fronts do a lot of work and try to stabilize the car. And of course, vice versa. If you have a car that understeers, you may want to send more brake bias to the rear to kind of get the rear to slide out on you. That's also going to affect your tire wear. But if you know, at a certain track, your tires are going to wear unevenly front to back, or if you know just the way your car is set up, sometimes you can play with your brake bias not only to affect how the car handles, but to affect how your tires wear. I do it all the time in endurance races with like big V8 cars. I love driving things like the Jaguar and the Corvette in endurance races because you can short shift them, but they tend to understeer a bit, especially the Jag. The Jag understeers a bit, so I throw the brake bias pretty far to the rear, not only to get it to turn, but also because it saves my front tires from all that understeering, so that, by the end of a stint or by the end of the race, I'm not dying for grip in the front of the car. Doesn't look like Ben's going to make this pass, or Tap's going to make this pass on Ben. Ben holds on to fourth right there. I just wanted to see that battle through these last couple of corners here. So Tap doesn't make the pass. Doug wins the race. Supra in the second, 750 in the third, Ben in the fourth. Like we said, Tap in the fifth. Type R just crossed the line. Happy's coming in the seventh. We're going to see Jack Mia cross in the eighth. And then Schlump is not too far, just one corner back, coming into ninth. Dorifto! Stop it. No more drifting, Schlump. You're going to practice this week. You're going to keep the car together. Drifting is slow. It's fun, and it looks good. It's not fast. Stop it. I know you're not doing it on purpose. I'm just messing with you. But okay, that's our race. 2 really good races. We had some good battles. I hope I shared some good knowledge. I don't remember the lap. Sorry. Sure, Doug. Sure you don't. I'll go back and find it. No, I won't. But that was round 5. Do I have a calendar for this championship? Do I have one that I can show? I don't think I do. No, I don't. But if I did, I would show you the next few races. But I will see you guys next Sunday night. Same time, same thing. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, of course, for everything y'all do. You guys make it fun. You guys definitely make it fun to commentate on the races. So I like being able to do it live with you guys, especially as being the ones who were driving the cars and doing the racing. It's awesome. Anyway, have a good night, y'all. You learn never to drive the Porsche again. You'll be fine, Schlump. I'm telling you, go practice driving on eggshells. Just be super smooth. It's not going, like, you're going to panic at first. You're going to be like, wow, this car's not going to stop. It will stop. Brake early, brake smoothly, and it will drive very well for you. It's very fun. All right, for real. I'm out this time. Bye-bye.